Hey everybody, it's Romania Black. We are on episode 9 of Attack on Titan Junior High. Ooh, it's been a week since I watched episode 8. I loved episode 8, getting Frida there early and seeing Erwin come in. It was great. Basically, this whole series, I can't believe we're on the final fourth of it. Yeah. Kind of crazy, right? But here we are. So I was really excited about this in the preview because it showed there was going to be like maybe some Annie Bertholdt things. I'm all excited about Annie Bertholdt things. Like any romance that this series can give me at this point, I'm going to take it because we need it. Attack on Titan needs romance, if anything. Like anything that gives any source of levity, happiness, lightheartedness amidst all of the madness and insanity, I'm here for it, so sure. But yeah, so we're gonna watch episode 9. I did have a comment. Alexander Q commented way back on episode 7 and said that in that episode I was appalled that the show gave us Marco's death pose in the middle of the showdown, dodgeball, whatever that match was, capture the flag. But Alexander Q pointed out that, yeah, when all the balloons come down and you see the Levi squad and everybody sitting there, yeah, they're all in their death poses from the first season. How Petra, Oro, Gunter, even maybe Moblet when he's reaching out towards Hanji is basically how he was in season 3. They're all death poses. Wow. Thanks, show. It's so weird because this show, Attack on Titan, is so grisly and morbid, and there's not a lot of humor in Attack on Titan. There's really not. The humor is very bizarre. It's like Isayama, his sense of humor is so dry and dark that it's like trying to translate it into something chibi and something cute. It's just the darkest humor that it's so subtle that if you don't know exactly what you're looking for, you can miss it. And that might not be a bad thing. So I was like, man, Alexander, woo, thanks for pointing that out. Also, some dude and Alexander were talking about in the comments for episodes 7 and 8 that around the time that this was airing, obviously season 2 had not come out yet, but season 3 was being discussed in the manga. Like the government arc, the uprising arc, that had all been taking place in the manga. And I was like, okay, that explains why they tied Frida in. It explains why if Moblet's pose is the death pose. All explained there, but still, that's like such an Easter egg. Like if you're a manga reader watching this show, you're like, ah. But if you're an anime only, you're probably like, who the heck is this dark-haired girl? And then when you get to season 3, you're like, oh crap, it was her. And so that's so crazy, right? That it's so crazy that we get, you know, touch base on them so early on in this. But it's pretty interesting. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited to dive into episode 9, see what happens here, and just go from there. So let's not waste any more time, shall we? We are going to start episode 9 of Attack on Titan Junior High, and we're going to start that here in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. As I was saying at the end of this reaction, I feel so bad for Bertholdt because Bertholdt in the series, I know a lot of people, some people don't like Bertholdt. I like Bertholdt a lot. And the more I get with Bertholdt, the more I get with his character, and the more I like re-see things with his character, the more I appreciate him. Because Bertholdt was really, honestly, kind of a gentler soul in there, which is, it's thematically funny that he's the one in charge of the Colossal Titan because he's the more like calm and collected and patient person, which if you're powering a Titan that could be a literal nuke, that's pretty important. But I feel for Bertholdt because he seems like of all the shifters and of all the warriors, he was the most like, he was just there. We don't get a lot of his backstory. He was just there to be there, and because it was what needed to be done. And he goes through, I think, some of the more interesting character developments of a side character, especially when we get down to like his death and everything. It's so interesting. And it makes sense that Armin inherits the Colossal Titan from Bertholdt. But at the same time, man, I feel for his character, and I love he has a little umbrella here. So it must be a continuity issue with the anime, because he starts out there and, oh, this is for when they were kids. Okay, that's amazing. He's like, that's pretty good. So the Yakuta and everything is different. He's like, this is the one thing I'm good at, the die cutting. Oh, so this is from the past. So the overalls with Reiner and the overalls is like when he was a kid and Bertholdt a kid and Annie with the 2 fish. This is all from when they were a kid back at Marley. Oh, wow. So that's kind of interesting, right? So if you hadn't watched the if you hadn't read the manga and you didn't know from the anime yet, then we would assume that, oh, this is from back in their hometown when they had the festival back at their hometown, right? But if you know from the series, it's like, oh yeah, no, this is at Marley. Okay. That's so crazy, right? Ah, that's interesting. There were so many references in this. Oh my God. So many references. This is my favorite episode by far. So far, this one's my favorite. Like, we get some season when we have Bertholdt in the sleeping position and how you tell the weather based on how his legs and stuff are organized. That was really cute. In his artistic sleeping pose. It'll be sunny tomorrow. And then he's like, wake up, Bertholdt. Reiner's voice acting in this episode, Hosoya's voice acting as Reiner was so good. Like, when he was imitating Annie, being like, Annie! Like, doing the female voice. Just, what even? Oh my God. But yeah, Bertholdt in this, he's like, oh, good morning, Reiner. An important favor to ask. He's like, well, I want to ask Krista to the summer festival coming up. I love it. And I love that Bertholdt's like, oh, you're going to ask Krista? Yeah, good luck. Like, yeah, you're not going to get very far with Ymir around. But nice try with that. He's like, you can come with us too. He's like, well, I like that Bertholdt is like, what is the point of me being a third wheel? No. He's like, I want to go. I love that Reiner's like, of course I want to go alone with her. But he's like, I'm really embarrassed. It's like, oh my God, shut up. Yeah, is that all you have to say? And then I love he says smirk. He says the word smirk out loud. I love that Ymir and Reiner both are like, we're going to hook Annie up with Bertholdt because it's really obvious that he likes her. Honestly, this series is so spoilery. I'm so glad that y'all, because I remember when I was finishing season 1, they were like, oh, Attack on Titan Junior High, and a bunch of people were like, no, finish season 2 before you watch this series. And I was like, okay. Yeah, how you watched this series before watching season 2 and did not figure out that Bertholdt was the Colossal Titan. I don't know how y'all did it, because they straight up, in this episode, they gave you the Colossal Titan mask and the Kool-Aid on his face. Like, at this point, it's so obvious that it's him. Because, I mean, and I could see people being like, oh, well, you know, it's just a thing on the Titans. I'm like, and by the end of it, Annie has the female Titan mask. We know that Annie is the female Titan. So giving Bertholdt the Colossal one is all but... And the fact that they do the whole warrior scene in this episode, I'm like, it would have ruined it for me. I'm so glad that I didn't watch it. He's like, oh, Bertholdt, you could invite someone too. And he's like, oh, who would I invite? And Reiner's like, come on. Like, we've known each other since we were kids. But Bertholdt just being like, I don't want to ask anybody. No. Like, him being so embarrassed. He's like an open book. Yeah. It's like, oh. And meanwhile, Historia and Ymir are overdoing, like, hashtag wives things. As they're like, you want to stop at that crepe place in our home? She's like, oh, yeah. And she's like, you're going to gain weight again. I'm like, Ymir, leave Historia alone. She doesn't, who cares if she gains a little weight? It's fine. But here's the thing. Reiner, when he goes up to Krista, excuse me, he was like, got a minute, Krista? And it's like, just prepping it all with Aaron. Got a minute, Aaron? Like, it's just all there. Amazing. And then he's like, would you like to go? And then here's Historia's thing. Historia as Krista is like, yeah, I'll go with you. We'll all go together as friends, as a group. And it's like, oh, she's not going on a date with any of them. Who else should we invite? And they're like, Bertholdt, say something. But he's too busy looking over at Annie. And that's when Ymir and Reiner both get the idea. They're like, I like that they're both on the same page. And Ymir being like, hey, Bertholdt, my precious Krista doesn't need to be attacked by a gorilla. By a gorilla! By Zeke! They were prefacing the monkey! They were prefacing the Beast Titan. Are you joking? Oh my God, what is this series? They were prefacing, she's like, I don't want Krista to get attacked by a gorilla. They were prefacing the Beast Titan. Oh my gosh, y'all, this episode, I just can't. It's too much. But yeah, he's such an open book. And that's when Reiner does the whole thing from Warrior. He's like, Bertholdt wants to talk to you. And I love that Bertholdt's like, Reiner. He's like, are we doing it right here, right now? And he's like, they both have the shadows over their faces. Oh like, yes, now's the time to do it. And there's the line art and everything. And the animation is the same. Oh my God, I can't, y'all. It's just, and I love that Annie at first is like, no, I don't want to go. I'm not interested. But then here's the thing. Aaron says, oh, a summer festival, I'll go. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's great. He says, oh, the summer festival. And as soon as Aaron says it, then Annie's like, maybe. Also, behind Aaron is a picture of Marco. And Marco was not in this episode because Marco's dead. And the picture of Marco is showing the side of his face that's not been eaten. So there's that. Fun times. I love that Aaron's like, I'll go. And then Mika says, like, I'll go if Aaron goes. And Armin and Sasha and all of them are like, yep, food, we'll go. We'll do. Can do. And then I like that Jean's like, I'll teach you guys how to enjoy festivals. Because he's our king. Oh, King Jean. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then Historia's like, great, everybody's going to go. You going to come too, Annie? Because you'll be the only one left out. And Annie's like, well, but Annie doesn't like crowds. That's why she didn't want to go originally. It's like, oh. So, man, I love that this whole scene on the rooftop with Bertholdt and Reiner and Ymir is basically, if you just inserted Aaron in there, it'd be children. It would be episodes 9 and 10, right? It would be the children episode and the one where they talk to Bertholdt and reveal that he actually likes Annie. That's crazy. But yeah, it's like they're so serious. A bunch of unwanted people coming. I'm glad you were able to invite Annie. I love that all the Titan shifters are up on the roof, right? Oh my gosh. This episode was so great. Let's put an end to this. Tell Annie how you feel at the festival. Like, that's straight up from episode 9. Straight up from it. Oh my God. And he's like, what? And then he says the line. He's like, you stare too much. Not just me, but everyone can tell. I'm like, it just spoils so much from season 2. And even Ymir's like, yeah, it's pretty obvious. Mr. Sterthal. Sterthal instead of Bertholdt. Oh, Stertholt. Oh my God. Wow. It's amazing. And poor Bertholdt. He's like, aren't those guys a royal pain in the neck? And he's like, if it's a matter of life and death, but it's impossible to get rid of them now. I love Bertholdt being he's so sad. He's like, ugh. And then him and Ymir forming a plan. And then sad Bertholdt is all I want is to be by Annie's side. That's all. This series is making me feel so sad that Bertholdt died. I'm like, it really got to me this episode. I was like, oh no, this is really, really sad. Like, this is supposed to be like a really cute, fun chibi show. It's really, really sad and I don't like it. But I kind of love it too. So, all right, we need to talk about their fashion, right? So Reiner being in the green polo with the khakis makes sense. Bertholdt being in the Omni, like the Omni shirt that has like the ombre that has the blue to white makes sense, right? Blue's always been like Bertholdt's color. But Reiner with the candy apple and the banana being Bertholdt and the apple being Annie. I can't. Yeah. I cannot. And then when he does Annie's voice, it's like the most ridiculous. I just imagine Hosoya being like, okay, we need you to say I love you in a girl's voice. Can you do that? And Bertholdt's like, oh my God. I like that Bertholdt and Ymir don't judge Reiner for all his like talking with the candies. I'm glad they don't judge him. But then everybody else shows up. So I love that Historia and Annie have the Yakuta on. It's really cute. Ymir always looks like, I love Ymir's fashion with the suit shirt and the pants that match her like hair clip. It's so freaking good. I love Ymir in that outfit. It's great. Yeah, with the burgundy pants. Freaking great. And then of course Reiner. I love Reiner tries to compliment Historia and just drop kick to the face by Ymir. And Bertholdt's face when he gets drop kick is like, it's great. And then Ymir's like, you look cute too. Marry me after the festival. And Historia's like, ha ha. Historia also has like the side ponytail of death in this, but luckily Historia's not died yet. So there we go. And I just love it. Mr. Bertholdt say something to Annie. He's like, well, no, I don't want to say that again. He's like, oh no. Aww. It's so freaking cute. I love Reiner and Ymir coming up on either side of him too. Like they're such fiends. I never really imagined Reiner and Ymir being like in a duo together as like chaotic gremlins, but they kind of are. And so it kind of makes, in season 3, when Ymir's writing the note to Historia before she dies, it makes that scene of Reiner like watching over her as she writes the note even more interesting, right? It makes it even more powerful. I kind of love that. It's great. I love that it kind of builds up their relationship in the weirdest of ways, right? And Annie's yukata is really cute, like the white with the green and yellow spots on it with the pink strap. It's really, really cute. But poor Bertholdt, they're like, he's way too specific, right? So, okay, everybody's fashion. Want to talk about this. I like that Sasha says what she's wearing in a little bit, but she's like, she couldn't move properly in the Yakuta garb, so she wears like a different version as well. When she gives a name for it, we'll get in a minute, which it definitely fits Sasha. I like it. It's Sasha being formal, but able to walk around. And then Jean, what is Jean with this sweater vest and chain, like 2007 called? Like, it's such a throwback. And then Aaron Aaron kind of has a polo sort of like Reiner, but it's like the blue with the white stripe. And then Armin wearing the yellow and like the belt and the khakis, of course, that fits Armin. And then of course Mikasa has the Yakuta as well. And I like that Mikasa's like, Aaron, your mom said to use your allowance carefully. Like, just reminding him. And then Connie with the foo tank top that also has the exclamation point, so it kind of looks like fool. Fits Connie's character. And so then, like, they say she's a yukata. Why aren't you wearing a yukata, Sasha? She says, it feels tight around my belly when I wear a yukata, so I'm wearing a jinbei. Okay, jinbei. All right, makes sense. Oh, and so step 2 was showing the manly side with the shooting game. And Bertholdt's not really, like, I also love that in this, Aaron is, like, leading the way. Aaron is moving forward with the hand out, like, let's go, guys. Like, he's leading the group. Wow, show. But then we stop with Ness. Ness was the horse trainer, right? Ness is the horse trainer. And Charlotte, his horse, is the hamster on his shoulder. Charlotte. Oh my God. I love it. And it like pulls on people's hair instead of the horse grabbing people's hair. Oh my God. It's amazing. The callback to season 1. And so Reiner's like, whoever can shoot the target can shoot a arrow through a woman's heart. And just the imagery of a chocolate covered banana with Bertholdt's face shooting a pop gun is something I never thought I would see in anything Attack on Titan related. So there's that. And then him getting the little teddy bear for Annie. Oh my God. I can't. I want it for you. It's just so good. Oh my God. But it doesn't work out for Bertholdt because you know who gets in a shooting contest? Yeah, Mikasa and Annie. And I love that Mikasa tries to... I love that Aaron's trying to like play the dice game, but Aaron doesn't have good luck, so he's terrible at it. And so Mika's like, here, I'll give you my prize. Aaron's like, I don't want your prize. You know, oh my God. It's just so referential to the game. And she's like, you wanted the big pork fillet cutlet. He's like, what kind of look is that? And then I just love the Jaws music kicking in and Mikasa and Annie being like, you want to go? Let's go. And then just making, like, running the guy out of business by running Ness out of business, shooting all the targets. God, it's amazing. This episode's my favorite. I love it so much. And so then they win all the prizes and there's a crab. There's a Godzilla. There's like a PS7. There's a clear Pikachu knockoff. There's something that looks like it's off of Vocaloid. There's a Wii U. And then there's a baseball game. There's something that looks like it is maybe like Voltron related. There's a witch's hat, a lobster, something with a gun, a dice, a like Jason mask, a Windows 99, a watermelon, a bat with nails, a camera, like a Dragon Ball thing. Okay. And then like a Rubik's Cube. Oh my God. Don't run me out of business. Ah, God, I love it. And he's like, time for our trump card. And the trump card is to like spill the shaved ice onto Annie, and he rescues her before she gets it on her nice yukata. But then Bertholdt's like, that's really mean. We shouldn't do that. Because he's wholesome and sweet. And he's like, that's a really bad idea. Let's not hurt her. Like mess up her dress, right? It's so sad. And then she ends up getting like the little fish like she did before. And that's when Bertholdt realizes, oh, I don't want to try to like hurt her, so let's not do that, right? And then of course Connie and Sasha show back up with the shaved ice, but they were gone so long that it's melted. And then it lands on Bertholdt and he looks like the friggin' Colossal Titan. Oh my God. Like, again, how you didn't realize at this point that he was not the Colossal Titan. Uh-huh. And then he goes to, like, I love, he's like, I'll go wash myself off. And it was like, and then he's at the well pouring the water over him. Like, it's so sad. Like, I really feel for Bertholdt in this. He's like, why would I try to do such a terrible thing to her? Like, he's so sweet. And then he sees the die cut thing, super fun die cutting. And he's like, oh. And so then I like that everybody is trying to find him. Also, Armin has his pant legs rolled up, like the khakis rolled up to be capris. And Aaron already has capris along with Connie. That's really cute. I like it. But then, yeah, and then Ymir's like, we probably got carried away. And Reiner's like, we should scatter and look for him. But Annie knew where he was. She knew instantly where to go. And so they have the little die cut things, and there's all sorts of things. There's like a top, animals, all sorts of things. I'm trying to see if anything looks out of the ordinary, but it doesn't. It looks all pretty standard. There's like an arrow and a weasel. Mm-hmm. And so he's doing the little, and he seems like he zones out. Like when he does it, he's just like, and then he zones out, and then he manages to cut like the flower. Cuts the flower out. And they're like, you're going to drive me bankrupt. I'm like, he's buying all your stuff. Here's prizes for you. And it's the Colossal Titan and the female Titan one for your girlfriend. And I think Bertholdt's like, oh, she's not my girlfriend. Oh, no. It's like, oh, Bertholdt, you sweetheart. And the two fish. I love this scene where they're sitting there, like, watching the fireworks. This felt so much like Nozaki-kun, like Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun. Like, even with the mispronunciation, even with the miscommunication in the fireworks. And she's like, you've always liked die cutting. He's like, oh, you remembered? She's like, yeah, I had a hunch you'd be there today. Like, this is so sweet. And he's like, oh, yeah, I see. And she's like, I haven't been to a summer festival for a long time. And I love that her dad gave her the yukata. And then I love Bertholdt's like, I hope you're having fun. And she's like, I don't like crowded places. And Bertholdt's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, he's a freaking cinnamon roll. I can't. But in the end, she's like, it's good that you asked me to come. Like, and this scene is so sweet. And I love that she's kind of like, well, you're like nice to be around. He's like, so are we even friends? But then, yeah, she feels at ease around him. And then I love that everybody shows up. And Sasha nearly ruined it. Sasha's like, oh, hey, there's Bertholdt. And they're like, shut the fuck up. Yeah. And then, oh. And then Annie laughing. It's so cute that she laughs. And this is like so romantic and sweet. It's like the best thing in the world. Like, she's just laughing and Bertholdt's little eyes glimmering. All I wanted in Attack on Titan was stuff like this. It's all I've asked for, and it finally, the series finally gives me it. I'm like, thank goodness. And then Bertholdt, I love when he's like, I'm just gonna be a man and say it. And everybody, I love that Armin is on top of Reiner's shoulders, like, come on, say something. And Sasha's like, what's going on? And Ymir and Historia are like, and John's like, is this really going down? And meanwhile, Connie and Aaron and Mikasa look like they could care less. It's so great. And then the fireworks, that's so pretty. That's the thumbnail's definitely going to be the fireworks with them. Definitely. Like, and he asked if she'd die cut stuff with him. It's so great. Yes, I love it. And then she's like, okay. And he's like, oh. Yeah, oh. I love that Reiner's like, yes. Like, yes, got it. Oh my God. Reiner's like, you did it, Bertholdt. And Ymir's like, I knew you could do it. And he's like, oh, thanks. Like, let's all go do some die cutting. Amazing. Okay, I love it. Okay, so looking on here, like, everybody looks like they're doing good except for Aaron. Aaron can't do the die cutting. Of course he can't. And Sasha's trying to eat it. That's amazing. And then Reiner and Ymir aren't even trying. They're like, we're not into this at all. A perfect moment we've been waiting for, and they blew it. And Aaron's like, it's cracked again. Oh, and he's like, the trick is patience, which Aaron does not have. If you become hasty and press hard, it cracks easily. You just stay calm and cut carefully. Oh my God. And then all the fireworks, yeah. And of course, Aaron's like, oh, cool. Tamiya. And Annie's saying it's beautiful. This was so, so awesome. I loved this episode so much. Definitely my favorite. Definitely my favorite, giving us little like romantic moments with Bertholdt and Annie. That's all I've wanted this whole damn series. They finally give it to us. It's like, thank you. We've waited all this time. You didn't let us down. It's, God, it's so good. It's all I wanted for my Attack on Titan junior high. That's all I've wanted for the series. Like cute chibi moments with references to the season, to the actual anime and manga, and some stuff that we would not be able to see in the anime and manga. And clearly, I mean, aside from season 4, this gave us some shippity moments, aside from that, there's not a lot of romance in this series, so this stuff is definitely like checked off all the boxes. So episode 9, it's my favorite so far. It's giving me Bertholdt and Annie content that I didn't know I needed until now. R.I.P. Bertholdt, right? Oh my God. Ugh. But yeah, so there's that. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this reaction, this discussion for episode 9 of Attack on Titan Junior High. I can't believe that we only have 3 episodes left after this. It's crazy talk, right? Cannot believe it, but what can we do? So in the meantime, I hope y'all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and yeah, I will be back next week with episode 10 of Attack on Titan Junior High. Bye.